I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome to Oops, the podcast, everybody. I am Giulio. I'm sitting directly next to Francis. Francis, how you doing?
Good. Good to see you. What's happening,
Dude,
babe?
not much. I thought of something funny the other day that I wanted to share with you.
Good.
I don't know if you've seen these. Maybe this is just like a road trip thing, but I think they're everywhere. There are these ads for 83 Truth. And it basically is like, Jesus, like, is Jesus real? Of course he's real. Like, it's just all this like biblical stuff. And it's usually like pretty provocative shit. Just about like God and the existence of Jesus and shit. So one time I thought I would call. So I called. And I was like, hey, what's up? I was like, is Jesus there? And the guy goes, what's your, and I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? So the guy goes, what's your name? I was like, my name's Giulio. He goes, well, Giulio. He goes, so what are you calling about? I was like, I was just calling to see, it said that like Jesus is available. So I wanted to see if Jesus was there. And he goes, well, Giulio, look around. Jesus is all around you. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
I feel like I knew that was what he was going to say before you even said it. Did the sign say, call us, we've got Jesus?
Yes, like something along those lines. Like there are dozens of these and they're everywhere. They're along all the big interstates and they're just kind of like, does Jesus exist? Like, of course he exists. Like Jesus is here.
Do you ever think about how different and possibly better life would be if you were just like a dumb person? Do you know what I mean?
No.
Here's what I mean.
I don't,
right? If I was
I
just,
know what you mean, but I don't think
those people that, barge into grocery stores without a mask and just say, I'm here, I'm not wearing a mask, it's not real, Jesus is protecting me, whatever. Those people are happy.
Are they? They're really concerned about other people not getting abortions.
Okay.
Like, they're really stressed out about other people, the way other people live their lives.
They definitely hate.
They're very
people.
nosy. They're nosy.
They hate certain people, but they're not concerned about global warming. They're not concerned about recycling.
Let's not. We're not like necessarily generalizing every single person, but we're saying there are people out there.
I have a very specific image of who I'm talking about.
Right,
I'm picturing a woman who has sort of like a ponytail held together by a scrunchie. She's wearing bad glasses, and then she's got bangs that are curly.
Oh, and
her name is probably Marge, or maybe
Pam.
Maybe probably a one-syllable name. And she's got jeans that don't fit that well, Anyway, that woman, right? Her life, and the male equivalent too, whatever. Their lives they're so sure of their positions,
mm-hmm.
and they don't question a whole lot. And they've got their community, they've got their friends. Maybe they have a boat.
We're maybe generalizing too much here. Like how we're creating this pain, this theoretical.
Let's
person.
back away then. Let's just say anybody who doesn't question any of their beliefs.
Okay. Yes.
And is so reinforced in their beliefs, whether it's from a religious perspective or from the fact that their community is so predominantly of one political persuasion.
Right.
Then there's nobody to say like, did you ever think of it from this angle, or what about the science that says this, or anything.
Right.
It's just a straight road,
right?
Towards
like science is wrong, and that somehow that person knows somehow that science is incorrect.
For the rest of your life, nothing is going to change your mind.
Right. It's a crazy way to live.
10 things you care the most about, it's set.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. It seems crazy. I mean, I would like to understand it more because it seems kind of.
But do you envy those people?
No.
So you think access to knowledge and therefore our ability to question our own beliefs and have shifting ideals.
And I don't think it has to necessarily extend to faith. I don't think like being informed. No, and I'm not saying you were saying that. I'm just like clarifying that. No, I don't think that knowing stuff has to mean that you're cynical.
I don't necessarily think cynical. I think worried. Knowing things worries me. I am more worried than a lot of those people.
Maybe.
I am
But dude,
worried.
those people are worried that fucking, the liberals are going to come in and fucking colonize their towns.
Yeah, but they have a plan for it. That's why they have their guns.
So they're armed.
And I think some of them are excited about it.
It sounds to me like they're worried about it, dude. I don't know.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
Maybe so.
But I think that no matter what, informed or not, I think that ignorance actually leads to much more fear than not. Like, dude, I was seeing some of these ads for the Georgia Senate race. It's like, John Ossoff works for China. Like, you have to be an idiot to believe that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, misinformation. Like, if you don't know anything, you're just really like susceptible to falling for that shit.
I guess you're right.
I think no matter what, there's something. I think the moral of the story is there's something to worry about. Informed, not informed, what level of informed you are, you're fucked no matter what. You got to make the best of it.
I guess that's true. I
Fuck
guess you're
while
right.
your dick is hard.
If you're
Fuck while your dick can get hard.
If you're ignorant, you can be as fearful as somebody who is informed.
Totally, and for different reasons. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know shit. Someone tells you, "Oh, this is gonna happen." You're like, "What? That's gonna happen? Oh my god!"
Yeah, I mean, right. I guess believing Pizzagate or some of those QAnon cabal theories would be deeply troubling. Like if I believed that the government of my country was a secret pedophile ring, yeah, I'd have a hard time moving past that each day.
Right.
That'd be a major preoccupation in my brain.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know.
Because, I thought
it's a great discussion.
Well, because I thought about this, right? Do you know how fun a boat rally would be?
It sounds great. Why can't you be part of that right now?
Because
unless I don't understand
the people
who
the people I align with don't have boat rallies. I'd have to cross over.
What if you chose to host your own boat rally up in Maine one summer?
It would all be like paddle boats, and there'd be like
okay. You need to explain.
It would
boat
be.
rally to
It
me.
would be okay, dude. So
I don't know what this is.
The Trump boat rally looked so fun.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Dude, I saw all these boats on my road trip that had big Trump arches. Those must have been in the boat rallies.
They would have rallies in boats, dude, and there'd be music playing. There'd be beers. People were in bathing suits and bikinis.
That's so
they're
fun.
celebrating what they believe.
Which is
that
what?
is not an angry, tearful gathering to protest their beliefs.
Right. They're being happy about that.
That's
They're
a
proud of
boat.
it.
You're just happy on a boat.
It sounds great.
You are happy on a boat.
It sounds pretty fun. I got to be honest. I don't know how much I love being on boats in general, and I think it's because I get burned easily. There's not really that many places to hide from the sun if you're not on like a fancy boat. So I actually don't know how fun I think that
All right.
is.
Well, let's say that you had the right
Okay,
boat
so fine.
with an overhang and a cooler
Right.
and
And of course, for a special occasion, if
decent
everybody's coming
toilet.
out,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's like tailgate on the water,
That's right. That's what it is.
which sounds great. And you're not celebrating a team. You're just fucking celebrating,
Right. Doesn't that sound more fun? Listen, I am not advocating for one over the other. I'm just
That sounds
saying
fun.
there are times that I wish, or not wish, but it's too bad that the group of people, and I'm showing my hand here, the group of people whose beliefs I align myself with, or the beliefs that I align myself with, are the way that we show our beliefs does not tend to be fun.
right? You don't have parties because you feel a certain way. Well, maybe
You ever seen a global warming boat rally? You ever see a Save the Whales like flotilla of pontoons out on the lake? No.
That's good. Yeah, it's true.
You ever see a motorcycle like fucking group of guys getting out there to talk about, gay marriage
right.
and how important it is to have equal rights for all? No.
I think we need to start doing these things. I think we need to have a bike rally in support of, gender discrimination, against gender discrimination.
It's huffy. It's always huffy from this side. It's
condescending.
Boy, things are bad. It's doomsday-ish.
Yeah, I get. Like,
think about this.
It's certainly not fun.
Gun rights rallies or whatever they are. Those guys go out. They get dressed up. They got a holster with their gun around, and they walk around with that thing flopping around, knocking against their thigh, reminding them they're packing heat, and that feels good. Or maybe, God forbid, it gets so exciting that they start shooting guns off in the air like they've just liberated the country.
That's much more fun than like a bookstore seminar.
Yeah.
Which is what?
A sit-in, a fucking hunger strike.
Yeah, those things do not sound.
I mean, good heavens.
Glorified. Heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Betsy.
Well, good. I like a good fiery convo.
I think you're right. I think we are. I am oversimplifying. I'm overgeneralizing. I just think that there are times where, I have my beliefs and I have the things that I think matter. And unfortunately, the way that I'm set does not lend itself to the boat rally crowd.
Right. And I think that up until, this point, I think, it's become hard for like the kind of respect with all this like nonsense shit out there. It's like, well, just listen to the other side. You should listen to the other side. That's fine. But like sometimes there's things where it's like, I'm supposed to entertain that, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like, it's not political beliefs. It's like pretending Obama wasn't born in America or whatever. You know what I mean? It starts becoming like conspiracy theories. Some of them don't deserve to be entertained if they're crazy enough. Maybe some of them do.
I know.
Some of them certainly
do.
do. And that's fine. And like, I have no problem having a conversation with somebody I don't agree with. I have plenty of friends who are much more conservative than I am or who are whatever. And I don't hold it against them. Like as long as they have informed opinions, like I have no problem with that. If you're just pulling shit out of your ass, that to me is a problem. And that can be stressful.
Yeah, that I completely agree. I have a friend who came over one night. We had, 5 other people here. And he started holding court about how he had thoughts that maybe the election was not was fraudulent.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept, he knew his crowd, so he wasn't going to go full bore and be like, it was rigged, it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But he was basically saying, he's trying to tiptoe into the water of,
is this one of these guys who like starting shit? That person exists. He shows up ready to fucking spar.
No, I don't think it's that. I think he just, honestly, I think he just likes to talk. And and
he's constantly in a cocaine state. Needs to just talk about politics.
That was definitely in the mix, by the way. And you mix him up. I wasn't touching it, but you
give
mix
him a couple fucking lines of queso.
You mix
dude.
him up with that, dude. It's like pulling the string on a Woody doll. You know what I mean? Off he goes.
Hey there, sport.
Yeah.
The election
Hey
is
there,
rigged.
sport. I just want to say I don't know that I believe this, but you can't say that it didn't happen, right? And that's what he does. He sort of deflects. He's like, I accept. I know he didn't win, but I'm just saying this thing doesn't line up, and this doesn't.
And what's
make
the
sense.
point of having that conversation? To me, like I know people like that too, and it's almost like this is sort of leaning on what you're saying. It's like a vehicle for them to get attention. It's like you're telling me you agree with me, and then you're just trying to like start this discussion for no reason. Like, what's the point of being controversial?
Yeah,
we're enjoying ourselves. Like, chill.
I completely agree, and I almost wanted to say, like, dude, just leave. I was almost at the point, like, certainly now. Have I told you this idea of a box person?
You've mentioned it, but I'd like to hear more.
Have I talked about it on the podcast?
You've said it to me. I don't think you've said it on the podcast.
Okay, so there's this idea. Now,
a
I
funny
am not
term.
saying that this guy is a box person because he's a very dear friend of mine, and we just happen to have different political beliefs, and that's totally fine. But there's a phrase, and I'm not sure that my friend group coined it. I think it may have been floating around before, but the idea of a box person, which is that, you know, someone in your life who, as long as they kind of just exist in their box, they're fine.
Yes.
And that you put them in a box.
Yeah, you
You're
don't
like,
chill with them in certain
This
situations.
dude is my buddy that I can drink 12 shots with, or this person, he's perfectly fine. If we're at a sports bar, I'll have 12 shots with that guy. We'll have a great time. That is the box that they should be in, right? But as soon as you take them out of that box, like if you went on a couple's dinner or a couple's weekend with that guy, all hell might break loose.
Right.
And he's now out of the box, and you can't control it, and
Yeah.
you have not bargained for what is now the animal out of its cage.
Right. Dude, totally. And you can't bring. It sucks to be that person for a variety of reasons, most notably because you annoy the shit out of everybody.
Yes.
But but it sucks because you have to cultivate the event for that person to be able to fit in. You can't just be like, you can't just let worlds mix. Like, you know, if you bring that guy,
You have to
he's gonna fuck everything up.
You have to warn other people he's coming.
You're like, he's fun. So now, is it people who know him or people who don't know them, or both? Honestly, both. Hey, this guy, he's honestly a good guy. He just you just gotta like.
Usually for me, it's people who know him.
I got it.
Who know a certain person.
And do you have to sell them on it? Are you like, listen, like, I know, like, he's coming. Just thought I needed to tell you that. Full
That's
disclosure.
what I say. That's
Yeah.
what I say. And let me tell you something.
Is there pushback?
Usually,
Like, I'm gonna pass.
nobody backs out.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's one of those things where there are certain people I know who are they have such a strong character trait in whatever it may be. Their box
Yeah.
is so defined that I can't surprise other people by having them just
By letting them
show
out of
up.
the box.
Yeah. And sometimes you can't help it. You know what I mean? The person has to come. You've got an event. You care about them. You do like them for a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And they're coming. They heard about it, or maybe they even fucking helped organize the thing.
Mhm.
But whatever it is, people need to be warned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't be that person. It's so funny that person doesn't know that they're that person.
Never. They never
That's
do.
the crazy thing about it, which then makes me wonder. It makes me doubt my perception of myself in society.
Absolutely, it does.
I'm like, am I that guy?
yes.
All of a sudden I'm like talking and I see the person starting to like nod off. I'm like, am I talking too much? Does everyone hate me? Second I smoke weed, all these thoughts just start ripping out of my
I can
brain.
tell you definitively, you are not that guy.
I appreciate that.
I
but,
can
you know,
say that in my life, there have been times where I'm sure to some groups I have been that guy, but I have tried to grow out of it,
of being
to
that guy.
become
I
a
don't
little
think you're
bit
that
more
guy.
universally tolerable. And, you know, look, there's nothing wrong with being someone that people don't necessarily love being around, but have no problem being around. There's nothing wrong with that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be the person that brings value to everybody, right?
Definitely. And I think too, there's a line where you need to start making valuable concessions to yourself to be the guy who everyone likes. And that's probably not worth it either. You're
Right.
selling yourself short by doing that, by making sure everybody else is always comfortable at your own expense. So it's okay to be a little controversial.
Yes.
Not everyone has to love you, but don't be a fucking dickbag either, you know?
Right. Right.
It's a
And
good-
you know, I think another part of it too is that as I got older, I realized that I was a very strong personality and that I rub people sometimes the wrong way. Less now than I did in my early 20s. And as a result, I think I was consciously or subconsciously sought a mate who was endearing to all.
Oh yeah.
And my girlfriend is universally
She is a great personality.
beloved.
She's great.
When people talk about us as a couple, they say she's great and he's fine.
He's
you know,
aight.
but they mention her first. She's the brand ambassador for us.
Yeah.
She is.
She's the face of the brand.
She's the face of the brand.
That is
She's
very
the
funny.
face of our brand.
That is-
And I know that. And I need that because when you're a couple, you get invited everywhere together, right?
Mhm.
She has opened more doors for us than would have been available to just me.
It's great.
Or certainly to me, were I with a shittier person.
Right. Well, dude, I think that we both can speak to this. And I have nothing against comedians, but I'm very happy that I don't date a person.
Oh, thank God.
A, in comedy, B, in entertainment in general.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And it's also nice to mix those worlds.
Mhm.
You know, like it's nice to have the comedy world, but it's also nice to like know her world and her friends and her network. And I've met so many great people and it's fucking great.
Yeah. Are there couples that you know where the woman that is dating a friend of yours makes it so that you are less likely to invite them
Yes.
somewhere?
There's a couple. There's not a specific couple, meaning a couple of different people who that is the case. And it's a real bummer because it negatively affects the sort of, and it's just a logistical thing. It's like if I'm going to be with my girlfriend who doesn't like the girl, then we can't hang out.
Mhm.
Or even if it's a girl who I don't like her boyfriend or whatever, that it sucks.
So your girlfriend has strong opinions about people.
Not really. Like there's just, there's certain times where I might not like the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or maybe she, like one of us doesn't like feels a certain way about a person's partner,
Right.
which makes us less likely to hang out with them.
How do you get out of it without offending the people?
I mean,
Because you can only
it's really
say
tough.
you can't make it or don't want to do this, can't meet for dinner, can't have drinks. Sorry, we've got plans. You can only do that so many times
Okay.
before a couple will be like, these people don't fucking like us.
Here's the manual for dealing with this. You push it off as much as you can until you can't, and then you just go. And if it goes, but dude, so here's the thing about
So
going.
you just keep a heartbeat.
No.
Why?
So here's
why?
So listen. So here's the point. So depending on how that goes, okay. So say here's the spectrum of hanging out. Here's you like them a lot,
Mhm.
and here's you don't like them at all.
Yeah.
Say they've kind of floated into the lower 30th percentile.
Yeah.
They're getting there, but they're not. They didn't. There's no fight yet. They have no idea that there are these opinions. You sort of have to make them push it until they get all the way here, and then you can be like, you're like, dude, sorry, like I hate your girlfriend. We hate your girlfriend.
Oh, wait. You just changed your answer.
It can get there eventually. So it's like you defer or you deflect, you push it off until you can't anymore. You hang out. If that goes really badly again,
Okay, I see.
it starts moving more and more into that direction until it starts to become obvious to everyone.
So have you ever had to tell someone straight up, listen, the reason that we're not agreeing to any of your invitations is because we don't like you?
It's never come to that. But I have told a friend that I didn't like his girlfriend, but that's different. So it's never come to that for me.
Yeah.
Has it for you?
No, it has not.
I would like for it to never come to that.
I agree. Yeah, that seems
That would be great.
it seems like you shouldn't have to get there. But then you're also relying on people picking up on social cues. You're relying on them to be like, okay, clearly they didn't have conflicts this many times.
And listen, man,
They
it's
must
important.
not like us. Let's not beat a dead horse. We're just running into a wall over and over with them.
Yeah. And dude, it's important to remember, it's like, you don't have to take the high road all the time. If you don't like somebody, if they're being a dick, they shouldn't be a dick. It's okay for you to not want someone to be a dick. So you deal with that as unconfrontationally as you can until you can't.
But there are plenty of people who are dicks who have no idea that they're being dicks. And also, if you told them, they might just totally disagree with you.
Totally. And that's so frustrating. And now you're a dick. And they
Yeah.
truly believe that you're a dick.
And then they start
Which is
telling
hard
all
to
your
stomach.
friends, like, can you believe so-and-so said this to me?
I know.
Me and my lovely girlfriend?
But dude, you know what? You eventually, I don't think it ever has to really come to that because, you can do it in a way where you decline certain activities. the big group ones you do together.
Mhm.
And then maybe it starts to get awkward when they're like, we should get together. We should get together. And then they defiantly don't ask
Mhm.
the next time. They're like, well, I guess we'll see ya.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is hard, man. Do you guys have that?
So again, we don't really. I mean, as I said, my girlfriend, she's like the long, thin cube in Tetris. She just fits in every space.
In every
she's the
nook.
most important. She's a a skeleton key. Like any lock, any group, she works. She works it in. It's gonna be seamless. Everyone's gonna enjoy her, right?
That's great.
I am, as I said, the mitigating factor. No, that's not right. The curve. I don't know what I would be.
You're the variable.
The variable. Yeah, I'm the variable, but I have confidence by the virtue of the fact that there are couples and people who invite us to hang out enough where I don't think she's so great that people would just be willing to suck me up all the time to get her and us over.
Well, so I thought you were talking about, I thought you meant this in not in the sense of everybody loves her, but do you also mean it like she doesn't really care that much if somebody like sucks? Does she not like let it get to her? Is she like, oh, whatever, that guy sucks, it's fine.
Yeah, she doesn't put her foot down. She's never said
She's
that
like,
person
whatever.
can't come, and she will tell me like, why does it matter? You shouldn't be bothered by this person.
And I think that there's value there.
There is. But I also feel, especially when you're inviting people to your own home for a party or a dinner, and you're going to a lot of effort to host, if you are inviting somebody who has already like burned their bridge a couple of times, why do you want to roll out the red carpet for them?
Totally.
And I think so often, people like go along to get along, and they don't really consider, maybe because some of the other friends they're inviting like the person, or this person has just been a defined and ingrained member of your friend group
Right.
for so long.
They're grandfathered in.
Yeah, you don't question it. You don't question their behavior. You just accept it. And to me, I hate to put it so simply, but life is too short to suck up shitty people at
Yeah.
your own home.
Yeah, agreed.
To suck up the guy who invariably is going to drop a glass and not help clean up the shattered splinters of it. To the guy who discards his cigarette butts, all over the place
Right.
on your terrace or whatever. The guy who drinks your best shit, doesn't bring anything to the fucking party.
Right.
The guy who, just says shitty, mean things, slightly underhanded things, rumors, gossips, isn't polite, what doesn't help clean up, a zero.
Right.
A busboy, somebody who only takes from the table, does not bring anything
Oh, dude,
to
that's
it.
a good one.
Right? That
The
person,
bus boy.
you get to a point in your life where you need to say to yourself, like, I will be happier enduring whatever backlash I get from not inviting this person, from omitting them, than I will be having to withstand their presence, their foul aura at my home.
Dude, and it's funny. I'm thinking of a specific person in like the comedy world who I know who talks about how like everyone fucked him over and like all this shit. And dude, he just doesn't see how difficult of a person he is to be around. And like it's really it's really something. Like you, at the end of the day, sometimes you're just not going to be able to do it amicably, and you're going to have to decide if you want to make your party slightly worse every time.
Yeah.
By having this guy or not.
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't like you, it's not always a bad thing.
No.
It shouldn't even be frustrating. Who cares what they think?
You can't win them all.
Fuck them.
You can't win them all. There is so much freedom in knowing that you can accept someone's hatred of you.
Yeah,
There really is.
it is.
And that
Sure.
it's not gonna affect you that
Dude,
much.
and it's the same way, like when people comment fucked up shit on like our videos or whatever about me, and people like come at me, I fucking love it. And I'll tell you why.
Do you?
Yeah.
Or do you just tell yourself that you love it?
No, I actually love it. And I sincerely mean that. Like, certainly if somebody says something really specific that's like true and makes me self-conscious, there are ways you can get under my skin. Of course, I'm human. But if someone's like, fuck you, you're not funny, it's like, I don't even know who you are. I literally don't even know who you are. And
Yeah.
you're fucking commenting saying you hate me. Like, literally, fuck off. I don't care at all.
Yes. Yes.
I don't feel the need to respond. I don't feel shit. I, of course, will respond every once in a while. But, like, for the most part, I'm just like, nope. Like, great. I still don't know who you are.
Yes.
And I'm still upset. You're upset at me. It's insane.
That whole thing with LeBron. Did you see that?
Was that a recent thing?
There was a woman on the sidelines at a game.
Oh, yeah. The, like, young chick who was like, I got under your skin.
Yeah.
What
and
was
he
that all
stopped
about?
the game. I think she was just heckling him, and he stopped the game and had her kicked out.
Oh,
Right. And so a lot of us have this belief, I think, that you graduate to a certain tier of celebrity or success, whether it's, like Kim Kardashian is not reading negative. We think that Kim Kardashian is not reading negative comments on her Instagram posts and, responding to them. And we think because she just has so many millions of followers that she doesn't see it, that it's just a bland
but she might.
see. There's no reason that that's true.
Totally.
There's no reason that that's true.
I think they see it.
They see it. They just know better than to respond. They know that responding shows cracks in their armor.
Totally.
It's
It's like the equivalent of like some no-name rapper calling out Drake and Drake responding.
yeah,
He doesn't respond for a reason.
exactly.
You don't even deserve the forum.
right. But no matter how many times Drake tells himself that, he may not necessarily believe it. He may want
Right.
to respond. He may be
Right.
seething
Right.
over it, but he will outwardly, that's his company line of, this person's a nobody, they're not worth my time, right? But you look at Michael Jordan, like we talked about the Last Dance documentary, those defenders who would get under his skin, the people who
He
would
was
offend
petty.
him, those guys sucked.
Right.
A lot of those players, yeah, sure, Isaiah Thomas, some people like were good, but there were a lot of players that would motivate him, that would drive him to play with competitive anger,
Right.
who were nobodies to him,
Right,
compared
right,
to
right,
him.
right.
Nobodies. And they
Right.
affected him. Now he channeled it.
Right. He used it for a good outcome.
And I think it's a lot easier to channel anger in athletic events or strength events than like, oh yeah, well now I'm going to be funnier than ever. That doesn't really,
Yeah, it
someone says
doesn't
you're
work
not
as
funny.
well.
Like you'll see now I'm putting out my funniest stuff. It is what it is. But dude, for me, my policy is always just anything I don't see doesn't affect me. And therefore I don't
That's
look.
that's a
I
good.
can't
When
look.
it comes to comments, that's a good policy. Dude, I saw a funny. I was at a Nets game. They were playing the Clippers. Chris Paul was on the Clippers at the time, and I had pretty good seats. These guys were talking shit to Chris Paul. Like, oh, Chris, you suck, man. You suck, whatever. And he was like, he had his hands on his knees, like when the basketball players are kind of like kneeling over, and he just looks over at the guys. He goes, "Who are you?" And then just continues playing the game. And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking dope." And,
Yeah,
and
but
the guys loved it. They're
That's
like, "Oh,"
it.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
That's affirmation. That's
were trying
their
to get
blue
it.
check mark.
They're trying to get it.
That's all they want. They're gonna tell all their friends like Chris Paul
Chris Paul
responded
for
to
the rest
us.
of their lives.
They've
Yeah.
won.
Yeah. You're right.
There's
You're right.
nothing. There's no worse feeling than being ignored.
Yeah. it's
You
true.
really wanna bum a troll out.
Leave 'em under the bridge,
their
baby.
comment was not even seen or heard.
It's true.
Clover robes are great for drinking and wearing by the pool and talking into microphones and feeling real cool.
And the plover robe, I can't finish the song. Yours was too good.
Wear a plover and you'll feel really great. We're wearing our plover robes again, guys, and whenever we put them on, we can't help but break out into song like an episode of Glee.
These things are dope, dude.
They're awesome, man. They're so smooth and light and moisture wicking and thermoregulating.
They're very comfortable. And for some reason, like I just picture myself walking around like a really sick apartment wearing one of these.
Yes.
And just there's something about it that it's a really interesting novelty item that you sort of need to have.
That's exactly right. You sure do. And the other thought is, I picture what you're talking about, like some guy who's just, I'm picturing Bradley Cooper in the movie Limitless after he's discovered
Yes.
the pills.
Dude, I was picturing the guy from Billions
Okay.
where it's like an item where you're like, oh shit, he's
Yeah.
rocking the plover.
That's a different tier of wealth.
My man. But the Limitless guy's pretty rich too, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
the
he
whole
gets
thing?
there. He gets there. Standing in front of a floor-to-ceiling window, having a steaming mug of tea, looking down on the world, his kingdom below, in his plover robe.
Well, our crew over at Plover Robes, they designed these.
Yeah.
It was originally conceived in Jackson Hole,
That's right.
right? Because they needed something to kind of like get to the hot spring with.
Yeah, to and from the hot springs. You don't want to be cold on the way to the hot
Right.
springs, and you want to be able to put something on as soon as you get out before you go back to the cabin.
Totally. So this is like, it's a cool sort of like combination of like hiking gear and a robe that like feels really comfortable.
And it's also great, don't get us wrong, for lounging by the pool. And I think that's part of their song too.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. So listen,
And the pockets, you can put your weed in that. Pretty sure that's part of the song too.
We love the Plover Robes. We love our guys over at Plover Robes. Go to ploverrobes.com/oops. That's plover with a P, like the bird species. Ploverrobes.com/oops. Promo code oops. You'll get 15% off with your first order. Go get one now. The designs are bananas.
There's a bunch of designs and there's like pretty much something for everybody. So go cop one. You won't regret it.
Plover Robes are great, and that is now the end of
This
the ad.
commercial.
We're gonna say goodbye, but we're gonna have a time. See ya.
Okay, so dude, have you ever seen one of these things? And this is kind of about the kind of like, random person on the internet versus the celebrity dynamic type of thing. But have you ever seen like, for example, I saw one with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck where they're like, hey, win a lunch with us. Like, donate to charity, comment, follow these accounts, whatever, and you can win lunch with us. Or it'll be like David Beckham and Victoria Beckham win dinner with us. And I'm thinking like, who the fuck are these people who are excited about winning that?
I would be. I
you?
would be excited to have lunch with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Are you kidding?
Because he has to. And they pretend they like you, and they're like, "Oh God, I can't believe we have to do this." They're dreading it.
They're gonna have a decent. They'll get up for that.
And then at the end of the meal, after you thought you had all this great chemistry, they ask you for your number as Ben Affleck, and you have to make an excuse because you don't want this fucking guy texting you.
No, you're now picturing a different version of yourself at that lunch. You're picturing you as fanboy Giulio, the world's biggest fan of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Dude, you entered a competition to win lunch with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. You are that
Right.
fanboy.
But there are varying degrees of Matt Damon, Ben Affleck fans. There are the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck fans who wait outside of their residences with like autograph sheets.
Right, that's not
That
healthy.
guy might win the lunch. That sucks. They have to fake it for him. But then there's also like, some guy who just saw it on the internet and was like, I love Good Will Hunting, and throws his name in the ring.
And
That guy gets selected. He doesn't even ask for a picture. He doesn't ask for their number. They have a fun conversation.
everybody after that lunch starts going really well is asking for the number. Unless at the beginning they tell you that you're not allowed to do that.
I
or
don't know.
something,
I
which
don't
they
know.
might.
I don't know that.
Am I being cynical?
I don't know that. To me, and this is sort of probably to my own detriment, I've always thought anytime I've ever met a celebrity or hung out with a celebrity, I've always tried so hard to make it seem like I wasn't a huge fan.
Totally.
I've tried to be as normal and as like standoffish and non-invasive as possible. And to the point where I won't even like,
where you start like doing things you wouldn't normally do if it was a normal person. Totally. It's it's
Exactly.
annoying.
and
It has to be like that.
where where I'll like get up and walk away earlier, being like, all right, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Where you and where you almost want them to walk away being like, wait, don't go.
Right.
Where they're like, oh, that guy didn't give me enough time. I don't know. It's a crazy, ridiculous
I know.
belief, but that's my thought process.
But you have that thought process because you are, and like, we are fortunate enough to understand that because we understand what it's like to be on the other end of it. Even though I'm not saying we're famous, like, and whatever. And like, we obviously have different levels of following too, me and you, but like, even I know what it's like when somebody crosses the boundary.
When they overstay,
and
yeah.
it's weird. And it just feels weird. There's something weird about the dynamic.
But I'm
sometimes.
saying that our mentality, which is to play it safe, is not necessarily right either.
But it's also, I also don't think it's the prevailing school of thought on it. Like, you show up to that lunch, you don't know necessarily that Ben Affleck knows that you're going to talk about this for the rest of your life. So he's going to be his best self or whatever. And maybe he doesn't give a shit, but he probably does. You won the competition. He's going to pretend he cares about what you're talking about. He's going to listen. He's going to ask you questions so that you go and say, you know, Ben Affleck asked me about my mom and whatever, you know? And at the end of that, in a normal situation, you think you're friends with the person now. We really connected. You asked for the number and it's sad. It's a sad moment.
Yeah.
The move is don't go to that lunch. If you win the Ben Affleck, Matt Damon lunch, blow it off. Fuck them.
And let them
How do you like
know-
them apples?
Let them know you blew it off. Don't just make them think that maybe you got stuck in traffic. You need to make them know you consciously blew off their lunch.
You'd be like, oh, sorry, I actually got asked to lunch with Harry Styles, a
Yeah.
cooler, younger celebrity.
And then they'll be like, oh shit, we need to hang out with them. And they'll ask you for your number.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, they're the ones that are chasing you. Dude, I've met Ben Affleck before.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how did that go?
It was great. So he was training for The Town.
Oh, cool.
He was pretty ripped up for that movie. I don't know if you remember that.
Was a
He
great
was
movie.
cut.
Yeah.
There's a scene of him doing pull-ups in his bedroom or something in that movie.
I don't remember, but it was a good movie.
Well, he was living in Cambridge. I was a sophomore in college. And the gym that he was working out in with his personal trainer was the varsity weightlifting facility called Palmer-Dixon at Harvard.
Yes.
And he, because they were shooting a lot of that movie in Cambridge.
Interesting.
So he was lifting weights and he would come in early. He'd come in at like 5:30 in the morning with his trainer. And our team, we had some lifts that would be at the same time. And he would be like 2 weight racks down.
Cool.
And one time
Like
he
doing
came
power cleans and shit.
I mean, his workouts were tough.
I'm sure.
There was a lot of like core stuff, a lot of pull-ups,
Oof.
a lot of really difficult stability, toning shit. But I remember it was during the Celtics playoff run, and I had gone to one of the games, and he was wearing a Celtics like workout Nike dry fit Celtics shirt.
Scalabrini jersey.
It wasn't a jersey. It's like a long sleeve gray thing that just had the Celtics logo on it.
That's cool.
And we were like, we knew that he was going to come in. We'd been told by one of the coaches. But we were also afraid of our own coach. Like we were afraid to not focus on our workouts.
Right.
So we knew to like not engage with him in all of this.
Oh, you thought your coach would be like, Ellis.
Yeah, like go run sprints
Yeah.
for talking to Ben Affleck.
Right.
Not worth it. Leo, maybe. But anyway, so at one point, he and I ended up like having to, for some reason, we were like taking turns on some similar machine or something. I don't know how this happened. And he was like, oh, you going? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right. And I remember I had gone to the Celtics game the night before, and on the Jumbotron, they featured McLovin,
Oh, great.
the actor who played McLovin. And that guy was pretty hot at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, oh, did you go to the game last night? Because he's a Celtics shirt. I pointed to his shirt. I was like, did you go to the game last night? And he goes, nah, I didn't get, they didn't get me tickets or something. And he made some joke like, I guess I'm not a big enough star.
Right. That's a
And
good
I
one.
laughed and I was like, well, keep working and someday you'll be on the level of McLovin. I said that to
That's
him
really
and
funny.
he laughed and he was like, was he there? And I was like, yeah, he was there on the Jumbotron screaming. And that was our exchange. And as a result, I
That's
think
dope.
I am best friends with Ben
Right?
Affleck.
And Ben Affleck's dope as fuck, right? And you'll never forget that.
I have very high
him high
thoughts.
regard.
I think very highly of Ben Affleck.
Dude, totally.
Yeah.
And it's I find it incredible how anytime I've met, and this is why celebrity must be exhausting, because you know that people will hold that interaction with you for
Yeah.
their whole life.
Yeah.
And if you just blow them off, you're a dick, and they start telling everybody, and you're afraid of the kind of domino effect of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand where that's coming from. So
Mhm.
shout out to all the fucking famous people out there. taking the
Yeah.
pics with the fans, dude.
Hey, speaking of workouts,
Mm,
I got something for you.
let's hear it.
So, my girlfriend, we have a gym in the building and I use it all the time. And my girlfriend like playfully asked if I would train her
Ah, fun.
one day, or like, let's go do a workout together. And I said, sure. I had trained my buddy Abba a couple of times. Like we would work out together, but I would tell him what to do. And, you know, I have a pretty good library of exercises at this point that like I can, you know, I'm not like a certified personal
Do
trainer.
you wing
but
it when you go to the gym? Like wing, and when I mean wing it in a sense that you have such a vast library of exercises that you can wing a structured workout, or do you plan it a little?
I can basically what I'll do is I'll just do a mental inventory of like, all right, on Monday I did this muscle group, so let's do something different.
Right,
And if I'm lifting weights 3 times that week, I will do 3 different muscle groups.
Right.
But if it's 2 times, I'll sort of like amend.
Consolidate. Right.
But I don't need to write stuff down anymore. So anyway, I agreed, and I was like, all right, let's go down. And we go down, right? And now I am now faced with giving my girlfriend a workout in a gym. And I have no idea what weights are the right amount for her.
Right.
I don't know what dumbbells a woman can shoulder press. I don't know what she can curl. I don't know how many push-ups she can do. You know, we've never done that before.
Right.
And a friend of mine who is a similar like size and weight or whatever, even if I see him struggling, I know where to start.
Right.
I know what his benchmark is. So, you know, I'm
That's
going
okay.
off my own things, and I'm saying like, all right, well, I do 45 pounds for this thing. So here I hand her 25s. Right.
Mhm.
She's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, what's the matter? She goes, I can't lift that. I can't lift that with 2 arms. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then she grabs like 10s. And I was like, wait a second. No, you can do more than that. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what am I doing here? Am I trying to bulk my girlfriend? Like, are we trying to get fucking huge here?
Gains.
Is this the beginning of your transformation into the Rock? So, you know, it was really hard. I have to say, it was really hard to give her the proper thing. But for the last 10 minutes of the workout, I just, as almost like a joke, gave her a bunch of what I would consider Instagram influencer exercises, like donkey kicks.
Or like the butt ones.
Yeah, like a
the
lot of
squats.
butt
That's
stuff, you know?
Funny. That's really funny.
And I was doing them with her. And first of all, they work.
Yeah.
Like they're good exercises. But the next day, she was talking about how sore her butt was, and it was a good feeling and all this. And then she kept looking at it, and she would say to me, like, you know, I feel like I can already tell the difference. Like, and then she joked with me and she goes, would you be annoyed if all of a sudden I just like got this crazy ass? That's what she said to me. I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? What are you talking about? No, I wouldn't be annoyed. I'd be thrilled. I love my girlfriend's body. Don't get me wrong. But like, you know, what a ridiculously silly question. But it occurred to me, right, that there is not going to be a moment in our relationship where she is thrilled by a change that I've made with my body. There is no transformation I can do. The day she met me, that was the top. And then from that point on, it's
all
just
downhill.
me holding on as long as I possibly can. Where she could go do something. I don't know what it would be.
You're tapped out, dude.
Yeah, like I have a linear descent from here. It's only a question of like, again, the only other option would be to like gain a whole bunch of weight and then lose it
Fat
and have her
Francis.
be happy again.
Fat Francis 2021.
But all I can do is cling. And how sad is that, right?
It's not that sad.
My life is clinging to the ability
Yeah.
for her to be. No, I don't mean that sad. but like, there's no reveal. No one's ever gonna pull back a curtain and be like, "Are you ready for your new boyfriend? Here he
There
is."
he is.
It's
You
like
get huge, I guess. You could fucking bulk and season.
I don't think I can. I think I'm past the part of my life where I could really get huge, unless a Marvel studio movie called.
Came along. Dude, so there's something interesting about the student-teacher dynamic in a relationship that's fun and like potentially will help one's love life. I'm about to embark on teaching my girlfriend how to play tennis.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm really looking forward to it, dude. I'm gonna be fucking holding her from around the back, holding her arm, being like, do it like this, and it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Teaching my girlfriend tennis is gonna be hot. I'm psyched about it.
Now, you're gonna have that scene where all of a sudden you're like, she's like, "Is that a tennis racket? You happy to see me?" And then she pulls your shorts down, and you're like, "Oh no, oh no, not again."
I'm sorry, dude. It's gonna be great. I'm really, there's something.
Do you think that you being as good at tennis as you are is a good thing or a bad thing in this new chapter of Jedi Padawan learning?
What do you mean? As far as teaching her tennis, of course, it's a good thing.
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Oh boy.
Right?
Good boy.
Because here's the thing. You're so good at tennis that the gulf between you is unbridgeable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She'll never probably get to a level that, where you can hit with her.
She might.
The way that you can.
Well, you're right.
hit
Of course. But that's fine. But okay, finish your thought. Sorry.
So as opposed to, you both learning, even if you're better at something, but you both learning together and progressing at a somewhat similar speed.
No, dude, that's whack to me. Like we both are learning together. Like I walk in with my little racket. Like it's better that I'm fucking good at it. And I'm like, this is how I'm going to make you a good player.
Well, then let's shift it. Like,
I would like her to be good enough that we can play doubles with people.
That's what I've said.
Yeah.
That's what I've said.
Yeah. That's the ideal scenario.
But here's the other thought. You're so good that do you not think if she all of a sudden basically says like, I want to hit with you 3 days a week, that you're not going to think this is too much?
I will decline that invitation.
What's your limit?
I'm like maybe every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
She's going to need to find a tennis buddy.
So,
I'll also play with her, but I'm here to fucking train her. I'm here to train. I'm not here to be her fucking little tennis buddy. I'll hit around with her during the lesson, but we're not going to get into some kind of.
Am I good enough to have the same mindset with my girlfriend? Because
I think so. You're good.
She expects me to play with her all the time.
That's interesting.
And I can't tell her.
She's really into tennis. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't tell her, I'm sorry, I'm
You're
too
like
good.
not good enough. But dude, listen, again, why should you have to do tennis charity? This is about you too. Like that's the problem with like finding a good person to play with.
You know what she said to me when I said that?
What?
She goes,
"Fuck you."
If we had a son, would you say that to him?
And what were your thoughts on that?
And I was like, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Well, dude, the day might come where that son of yours gets so good that he doesn't want to play with you.
But I also think that father-son bonding and father-daughter bonding
I love playing tennis with my
over
dad.
tennis is a totally different thing than, couples.
Oh, absolutely. My dad taught me how to play. We played this summer. It was so fun. It was so nice to get out there. He still got it.
Yeah.
He was a teaching pro when he was in graduate school and stuff. He's a good player. So whatever. It was lovely. But you're right. It's a different dynamic than the girlfriend. He never taught my mom. My mom was, why don't you teach me? And he goes, ah. He literally goes, ah.
I think this is a common thing.
Yeah.
And I think for any women listening, if you're frustrated that your husband or boyfriend, doesn't want to sort of teach you or bring you along, whether it's golf or tennis or whatever the hell else, start with things where you're both not good. Like hiking, right? Hiking is a great thing.
Hiking's great.
I love hiking with my girlfriend because
I love hiking with mine.
We're at the same level of hiking.
Right. There's and plus the same level has a much wider meaning when it comes to hiking.
Yeah.
Do you have the energy to complete it? You know what I mean?
Exactly. She's not Alex Honnold. Like I'm not, taking the left turn to go the green trail while she buckles in to the sheer face of, the dawn wall. See you at the top, sweetie. Like, don't forget to
That's great.
check your harness.
That's great.
I don't know.
Awesome. Oops, the podcast. Dude, good stuff. Good episodes this week. We had some good, a
Fun,
wide
yeah.
array of topics.
Yeah.
Francis, you got anything?
Oh, no, that's it.
Well, check out Packlight. If you haven't, let me know what you think. It's a sort of
Where
experimental.
can we find it?
It's on Apple Podcasts. It's at everywhere you can listen to podcasts. And, it's kind of like a produced story kind of thing, more as opposed to kind of like what we do here. So it's a little
tight.
different.
It's tight.
And, it sounds, I think Francis once said it sounded like something you can hear on NPR.
Sure is.
Which I think is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check it out. Not Julio, at Francis CC Ellis. Email us, oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your stories, your thoughts, your mistakes, all this shit. We love hearing from you. And thank you for your support.
Thank you for watching that video. If you liked it, there are plenty more where that came from. Click on this link, and also please like and subscribe our YouTube channel.
Oops.